The United States holds 5% of the world's population and 20% of its prisoners. That's nearly 2 million people behind bars right now. But they're not all in the same place. The American prison system is a ladder. At the bottom, a concrete bench and 48 hours of uncertainty. At the top, a 7 by 12-foot cell designed to break the human mind. This is every level of incarceration in America, from a county holding cell to the most secure prison on earth. Before we begin, I'd like to ask a question about incarceration in America that you probably won't know the answer to. What percentage of people in American jails have actually been convicted of a crime? A, about 70%, B, about 50%, or C, about 30%. And here's a second question, just for fun. Where does the majority of the federal prison population live? A, maximum security, B, medium security, or C, minimum or low security? Remember your responses. We'll reveal the answer towards the end of the video. The journey starts the moment handcuffs click. Booking takes a minimum of 2 hours. Fingerprints entered into the FBI's LifeScan database. Mugshots documenting every identifying mark. Strip searches, standard even for minor offenses, and warrant checks across national databases. The Supreme Court's County of Riverside versus McLaughlin ruling requires a probable cause determination within 48 hours. But that clock doesn't always run on time. What happens next depends entirely on where you land on the security ladder. The federal system alone operates 122 facilities across 6 security classifications. State systems add thousands more. Each level looks different. Each level feels different. Most people picture orange jumpsuits and steel bars. The reality for 660,000 Americans right now is county jail, and 70% of them haven't been convicted of anything. They're awaiting trial. The median felony bail sits at $10,000. For the typical detained defendant, that's 8 months of income. 40% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency. So they wait. The average stay has grown from 25 days in 2015 to 32 days today. Large urban jails average 43 days. The Bureau of Justice Statistics recorded 1,200 deaths in local jails in 2019, a record high. 77% involved people who hadn't been convicted of any crime. Suicide is the leading cause of death. This is the entry point. For many, it's also the most dangerous. Step up the ladder and the picture changes. Federal prison camps hold roughly 24,000 inmates, about 15% of the federal population. No armed guards, no perimeter fencing, no barbed wire, no guard towers. Inmates live in dormitory-style housing. The day starts at 6 a.m., includes work details until 3:30 p.m., and offers evening access to gyms, libraries, and recreation yards. Movement requires only a sign-out system. The nickname Club Fed exists for a reason. Martha Stewart served 5 months at FPC Alderson, nicknamed Camp Cupcake, for obstruction of justice. Piper Kerman spent 13 months at FPC Danbury. Her memoir became Orange is the New Black. 89% of federal escapes come from halfway houses, not camps. The ones who walk away, nearly 90% get caught. Federal correctional institutions hold approximately 50,000 inmates. Average sentences, 10 to 30 years. The dormitories disappear. 2-person cells replace them. Steel bunks bolted to concrete walls. metal sink toilet combos, barred windows with opaque glass. Movement becomes controlled, designated periods only, searches upon returning from work, doors lock at night, double-fenced perimeters now surround the compound, lined with electronic detection systems. Work isn't optional. Unicore manufacturing, kitchen duty, maintenance crews, education programs exist, GED courses, vocational training, but the environment has shifted. The tension is present. Not constant violence, but awareness. Some facilities are laid back. Others are what consultants call hard yards. United States penitentiaries hold approximately 19,000 inmates, 12% of the federal population. They account for more than 50% of all serious inmate assaults. Violence is described in official reports as commonplace and routine. A 2024 Department of Justice review examined 344 deaths over 8 years. 187 were suicides, 54%. Homicide ranked second. USP Beaumont, 2 inmates killed. The Bureau of Prisons responded with a system-wide lockdown of 120 facilities. Gang dynamics dictate survival. The Aryan Brotherhood comprises less than 0.1% of the prison population. They're responsible for 18% of all prison murders. At rougher facilities, inmates must provide paperwork, court records proving they're not sex offenders or government cooperators. The consequences of failing that test are severe. 44 states operate Supermax facilities. An estimated 80,000 inmates experience some form of Supermax isolation, 22 to 24 hours per day in a single cell. Then there's ADX Florence, the Alcatraz of the Rockies. Opened in 1995, cost $60 million. Current population, approximately 340 inmates. 0 successful escapes, ever. Each cell measures 7 feet by 12 feet, 84 square feet, roughly the size of a parking space. Concrete bed, concrete desk, concrete stool, all immovable. A 4-inch window slit angled to show only sky. The notable inmates read like a catalogue of American nightmares. El Chapo, life plus 30 years. The Boston Marathon bomber, death sentence reinstated. The Unabomber, died here in 2023 after 25 years. The 1993 World Trade Center mastermind, over 20 years in solitary. The most restrictive unit is range 13, 4 cells, total sensory deprivation, darkened, soundproofed. Pressure pads track body position, no blind spots in camera coverage. A prison psychologist described it simply: it's a form of torture on some level. Harvard psychiatrist Dr. Stuart Gracian studied solitary's effects. His findings? Nearly 1/3 of isolated inmates hear voices. 1/3 become actively psychotic or acutely suicidal. The DOJ Inspector General found 46% of federal prison suicides occurred in solitary confinement. So now that we've climbed from county jail all the way to ADX Florence, let's revisit the question: what percentage of people in American jails have been convicted of a crime? Most people guess A, 70%. The answer is C, only about 30%. According to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, roughly 70% of people sitting in American jails right now have not been convicted of anything. They are legally innocent, still waiting for their day in court. Many are there simply because they can't afford bail. The median bail amount for a felony is $10,000. but 32% of people booked into jail reported an annual income below $10,000. The pre-trial population has grown 433% since 1970. In some states, like Illinois, 89% of jail inmates are unconvicted. This means that for most of America's incarcerated population, their journey through the system doesn't begin after conviction. It begins while they're still presumed innocent. And question 2, where does the majority of the federal prison population live? If you guessed maximum security, you're not alone. That's what most people picture when they think of prison. But the answer is C. About 36% of federal inmates are in low security facilities. Another 15% are in minimum security, often called federal prison camps, facilities with dormitory housing and little to no fencing. Only about 12% of federal inmates are in high security United States penitentiaries. And ADX Florence, the Supermax, holds roughly 335 inmates out of over 150,000 in the federal system. That's 0.2% of federal prisoners. The fortress we just climbed to, it holds fewer people than a small-town high school. The American system escalates punishment to extraordinary extremes. County jail to Supermax, 48 hours to decades in isolation. The question nobody asks enough: does it work? The Bureau of Justice Statistics tracks everyone released from state prison. Within 3 years, 66% are rearrested. Within 5 years, 77%. Within 10 years, 82%. The harsher the conditions, the worse the outcomes. A 2020 meta-analysis found solitary confinement associated with 67% higher odds of reoffending. A Washington state study found inmates released directly from Supermax had 53% felony recidivism, 15 percentage points higher than matched comparisons. The National Institute of Justice published a report called 5 Things About Deterrence. Their conclusion: sending an individual convicted of a crime to prison isn't a very effective way to deter crime. And increasing the severity of punishment does little to deter crime. Norway once had a 70% recidivism rate, similar to America today. Then they rebuilt their system around rehabilitation instead of punishment. Current Norwegian 2-year recidivism, 20%. They incarcerate 54 people per 100,000. The US incarcerates 531. The American prison system is a ladder built on a single assumption: that harsher conditions produce safer communities. The data suggests the opposite. The system designed to reduce crime may be perpetuating it. From a county holding cell to the sensory deprivation of Range 13, each level strips away more humanity. And at every level, the evidence points to the same conclusion. The question isn't whether these places are harsh enough. The question is whether harshness was ever the answer.